Namo Om Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swanti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachaline Nivasesha Sunyavari Pashtatara Satarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktavinda. Excuse me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I hope you're all having a wonderful Ekadashi. Today is Ekadashi, and we have a wonderful Dwadashi tomorrow, the appearance of Hamana Dev. So a bit of a small festival. Okay.
I was going to ask you, sorry, to interrupt. How do we break the fast then? If it's half day, is it half day fasting tomorrow?
No,
No.
no, we did that today.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't missed that one. Today is
Oh,
half-day fast in honor of tomorrow's Vamana Dev appearance. Yes, so we do
oh,
half-day fast today and we feast tomorrow.
okay.
That is. So when you're having your breakfast, you can put something extra in the breakfast and have a feast.
Okay. Okay. That was quite handy because it was Ekadashi as well. So,
Yeah, yeah. So today is half-day fast day.
uh-huh.
She fast.
Okay. Oh, Hare Krishna. That's good.
Okay. Chandravali, Hare Krishna. So,
Hare-
yeah, so you can see the screen still. Yes, Hare Krishna. So we're picking up on text 135 today. Let's just read the translation to 134. Their minds absorbed in thoughts of him, they conversed about him, acted out his pastimes, and felt themselves filled with his presence. They completely forgot about their homes as they loudly sang the glories of Krishna's transcendental qualities. All right, this is on Bhagavatam. A lot of verses are being quoted from Bhagavatam. More or less all the verses now being quoted directly from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is when Krishna had left the arena of the rasa dance, as far as I can understand, and they entered into a very deep meditative trance on Krishna. And it continues 135. Someone like to take us into to this evening's reading? 135.
Can I do it?
Translation. Yes, go ahead. Thank you.
Text 135. What austerities must the gopis have performed? With their eyes, they always drink the nectar of Lord Krishna's form, which is the essence of loveliness and is not to be equaled or surpassed. That loveliness is the only abode of beauty, fame, and opulence. It is self-perfect, ever fresh, and extremely rare. Commentary. Text 135 through to 137 are spoken by the women of Mathura who watch Krishna as he enters Kansa's arena in the to wrestle with Chanur. The ladies of Mathura praise the gopis of Vrindavan because the gopis can always enjoy seeing Krishna and chanting his glories in all circumstances. First, the ladies praise the gopis for being always able to see the beauty of Krishna's transcendental form. The Vedic scriptures explain various benefits to be gained by the variety of disciplines, but the women of Mathura have never heard of anyone receiving such benefits as bestowed upon the gopis. What penances, religious duties, or meditation could enable one to attain such perfection? What tapas could the gopis of Braj have performed to earn the privilege of drinking Krishna's beauty with their mortal eyes, directly relishing his beauty the way one relishes nectar with the tongue? Out of reverence for Krishna, at this moment, the city women cannot utter his name, but can only refer to the son of the Nanda as him. According to the scriptures of Mathura women, Krishna is the most charming of persons. Indeed, his he embodies the very essence of charm. Even those who consider him an avatar of Vishnu cannot find any avatar equal to him. And the persons who know that he is, in fact, the source of all the avatars can understand that no one is greater. Moreover, his supreme excellence is not created by anyone or anything else. His excellence is not lent to him by his ornaments. It is innately his own. As Sri Uddhava states in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Lord, by his internal potency, Yogmaya, appeared in the mortal world in his eternal form, just suitable for his pastimes. Those pastimes were wondrous for all, even for those who were proud of their own opulence, including the Lord himself in his form as a Lord of Vaikuntha. Thus, Sri Krishna's transcendental body is the ornament of all ornaments. Ananya
One second.
Siddham can also be understood another way,
Okay, go on.
as meaning
Deepas.
that these excellence of Krishna are not realized anywhere else but in Vraj. Furthermore, persons who taste Krishna's glories are never satiated. Rather, they always experience those glories as newer and newer at every moment. As the poet Magh says, Kshane kshane yan navatam upaiti tad eva rupam ramanayan
Yeah.
taya.
Yeah.
The true form of attractiveness is that which appears newer at every moment. Therefore, the full glories of Krishna is very difficult to realize. Other than the gopis, no one can ever expect to know him directly, and only gopis have Krishna completely under their control. Krishna is the most charming of persons, and he possesses all supreme qualities. He is the only constant reservoir of frame, splendor, and the six divine opulences indicated by the word Bhagwan. Thus, both his form and his personality are in all ways supremely attractive. In stating that the gopis of Vraj always enjoy the sight of Krishna's beauty, the women speaking in the wrestling arena use the present tense, pibanti. By this, they mean to say that the beauty of Krishna can never be abandoned, can actually abandons the gopis, for the gopis never fail to see him, even when he is physically absent. The gopis are the most fortunate of women. We ladies of Mathura are not at all pious, because we can see him only at inauspicious times and places. There is no chance of our ever drinking the nectar of his beauty with the same love and respect as the gopis.
Okay. Thank you. So, any questions or comments? Just a couple of things to highlight, which you see I'm highlighting here? Bhushana, Bhushanangam. It's a nice two words to remember, which means, as explained, that Krishna beautifies the ornaments that he wears. Normally, as we know, it's the other way round. People wear ornaments to make themselves attractive. Yeah, but Krishna makes the ornaments attractive, or he makes, because he's so attractive, then whatever he wears also becomes attractive. So Bhushana, Bhushanangam. Yeah. Sometimes we have that experience. Sometimes when I'm dressing Radha Krishna, we just put on the outfit that we're told to put on. Even as head pujari, I could only put on what I was told to put on. Not in charge of that part. So sometimes I pick up an outfit to dress Radha Krishna with, and I'm not so inspired by the outfit, for one reason or another. It may not be my favorite when I see it, but once I put it on, it looks beautiful. each time I change my mind, it looks really beautiful. And why does it look beautiful? It's because it's been made beautiful because Krishna is wearing it. So everything in connection to Krishna becomes beautified. Yeah. And I was going to ask this question at the beginning here as well. So I'm just scrolling back one. The question is being raised about what's the qualification of the gopis? How did they obtain that position? That's often the question. When their glories are evident and how glorious position they have, then the obvious question becomes how did they get that opportunity? The same was asked by Sukadev Goswami when he was glorifying the Gopas and their intimate exchanges with Krishna as friends in Vrindavan. So Sukadev Goswami was beside himself. What is their good fortune? And what did they do? So what did the gopis do? What's their particular sadhana, if you can call it? Does anyone know what the particular sadhana might be to obtain a position like the gopis?
Well, in previous life, they were like when Lord Ramchandra went in the Dandakaranya, all the rishis saw him and they desired him. And therefore, in this, in like in Krishna avatar, they became the gopis to satisfy their.
Yeah, that's correct. So they desired him. So they developed a desire. They developed a lolium, a greed to obtain that position. But
But
I'm just
isn't
trying to
that
go on. I'm trying to,
isn't it, that's one set of gopis? It's quite different. There's like those from that Dandakanara forest. They were just like one set of gopis, but the others,
yeah,
because
Rishikari gopis. That's called. Yes,
yeah,
there's many groups of
there are many
gopis.
groups of gopis. Yeah.
Yeah, but they specifically, but to obtain a position of the gopis, they would have all followed a specific sadhana. They don't know what that sadhana is. Anyone want to be gopis here?
Would have just
If you want
like
to be gopis, you have to know how to obtain that position.
because like I read about the gopas, they have performed lots of austerities in their previous lives.
Yeah, I
With
guess.
the gopis is um,
But is it by performing austerities that you can enter into Raj, become an associate of Krishna?
not just austerities. You have to have that set of mind, surrendered mood to Krishna.
Yeah, so again, you have to have that set of mind. So what is that set of mind that you have to develop as a sadhaka in order to obtain that siddha, that perfection?
To me, like you can't, in the Shastra, it says you can't just go to Krishna, right? You have to, like, servant of a servant of a servant, right? So, don't we always keep talking about serving the Vrajvasis? So, that doesn't be like only gopis, everybody in Vraj.
All right, so but so how do you specifically serve the Rajrasis? How do you desire to obtain their position?
By hearing about them,
Okay, we're getting
like
close.
we've talked about things like that before. When you're going on a holiday somewhere, I've said that before as well, you tend to find out about that place, what to take, what you're going to pack, what the weather is going to be like that. So we aiming to go back to Goloka Vrindavan, so we need to know all about that place and prepare ourselves to go there.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. But what I'm looking at, just trying to focus in more on the Pacific type of practice that, well, for one, before we get to the conclusion, the verse Anapita Chiram Chir Kuruna Avatiyana Kalo Samapayatam Unatvalastra Bhakti Sirayam Hari Parata Sundara Katamba Sandipita Sadas Paratu Sachinandanaha. Lord Chaitanya has come to give the sadhana for obtaining this conjugal love. And that sadhana is raganuga, okay, that word which can be sometimes you say in some circles, and it but that's how to obtain Raj. We practice Vaidhi, but the idea is our Vaidhi has the goal of Raj, which means ultimately our devotion should be as like, or our attraction to Krishna should be natural and should be spontaneous. And therefore also we should have a great greed for it. So that's basically what I'm trying to get at. That is this is what Lord Chaitanya has come to give, this specific, the mood of the residents of Vrindavan. And that mood is spontaneous. Yeah. So that's what we are ultimately we want to achieve, that type of attraction to Krishna through our sadhana. And then that's why it's quite amazing when you hear about the women of Mathura, they're in awe about the gopis. Yeah, and they're the women of Mathura, and they're quite elevated themselves, and they're in awe at the reverent of the position of the gopis, and they're considering they're trying to understand what is it they possibly did, and the position of the gopis, that's what's being given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah, he's actually come to give that. This is what he's come to give. Not just the gopis, but also the spontaneous love of the gopas as well, or the parents of Krishna. So it's quite amazing, really. Here, the women of Mathura are beside themselves with appreciation of the gopis, and Lord Chaitanya is given that here in Kali Yuga to those who are least qualified. And he gives the specific practice. And as Mother Chandravali correctly said, there is a specific type of sadhana, means it's hearing about that as well. Of course, we're practicing Vaidhi Bhakti, but the idea is that by a practice of Vaidhi, we are hoping to, at some point in our devotional development, uh, develop a spontaneous attraction. Yeah? And then that will ultimately, at some point in some life, we hope we can obtain that qualification for being as like, or being having the same type of transcendental affection for Krishna, dare I say, as the gopis or the gopas, which is completely spontaneous. Yeah. Anyway, any comments on that or questions? Just something to consider when we're hearing the glories of the gopis, that Lord Chaitanya is offering us an opportunity to attain that position in Vrindavan. And so the work is through Vaidhi. We have to cleanse our heart, etc. We have to follow the prescriptions given on the bottle by the acharyas, Nasta Preshu, Bhadreshu, and Shravanam, Kirtanam, and then develop the same type of affection. Okay.
Even I was just thinking, maybe it's a question in a way. By performing Vaidhi Bhakti, we should we not also aspire to move up a bit, keep moving up in our spiritual life, not
Yeah,
just
of
what we
course.
do, right?
Yeah, that might be more practical for us at our stage, Vaidhi Bhakti. We want to be progressive, and
Yeah.
specifically want to be progressive in many ways, but the main way, as we gave that whole course on the holy name, roadmap to love, we want to be progressive in our smaran, in our chanting. We want to go deeper in our chanting. Of course, we want to be progressive in the quality of service that we offer to Krishna as well. But the best quality service is when the heart is absorbed, is when the mind is absorbed. That's the yeah. But still, yeah, we want to be progressive. Just like life, you have to be progressive, isn't it? And sometimes that progression may not come as quickly as we may like in our experience. That progression may be not as quick as we hope. But I was reading my Guru Maharaj was speaking about this. Where was I reading what book? Again, Sankab Gumudi, I'm studying a few chapters there. And speaking about Bripalamba, that sometimes devotees are a little bit disappointed, but they're not happy with their level of advancement. So he kind of explains that that's Krishna who's increasing our desire for him. Yeah. So when you come to terms with your, perhaps your, if you when you come introspective and you come to terms with how advanced we're not, that's the seed of feeling separation. You understand? It's quite subtle. If you're really feeling it, if deep down inside you've got an existential crisis that you haven't obtained the, you haven't obtained what you was planning to obtain. So if we're doing well and we haven't, if we're good sadhakas, then we turn that will be favorable because that means you understand, it's quite subtle. That means we're desiring stronger to actually be Krishna conscious. So when we chant, it's not just mechanical. We're crying from the heart to obtain what we haven't obtained yet. So when we're chanting, we can invest that mood into our chanting. That I haven't obtained what I've given my life to. I haven't obtained it. I'm still desiring, I'm still aspiring, and that's good. And then if we really have that mood, that's when Krishna can't but help, but reciprocate. You know, as a whole thing. So first we have to be free from, Madan Mohan. We pray to Madan Mohan to be free from a maddened attachment to this material world. Anyway, Hare Krishna. Any other additional points on that?
I think it's a good idea to keep a journal. Like every morning, I read this much of Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
I listened to this class, Guru Maharaj's class. Then I did this much, a little bit for Krishna. Or I just did this service, but it's bearing Krishna in mind. I did this service. Something like that. If we do it for about a year, and then the next year we can reflect how much going
Yeah.
further.
Sounds like that you do that, Mabhavachi Shore. Is that what
I
you do?
do.
You've got a little
I do.
journal. So you got a journal going back a few years or
3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 years? Yeah, many devotees do that. Chandramauli Maharaj is big on journaling. He does a lot of journaling and other devotees. I mean, I do as well. Yeah, it's very good. Sometimes you can have really wonderful experiences, but you forget about them. Then you read back on your journey and think, oh, actually, it's not so bad as I thought.
Yeah.
Has it helped you, Mataji, doing the journal?
Yes, because if I've done something wrong, when I'm referring back, then I think, oh no, I was doing it this. I used to recite Jagannath Astakam every morning. Now I'm leaving it for the afternoon. That's no good. Something like that, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
go back to what I did originally. It
I
does
think
help.
I think that's a good idea. I never thought of that, but yeah.
Yeah, any realizations that you have, any introspections that you have, you can write it down.
Yes.
Prabhupada said that a devotee should write every day as well. Write down your realizations, and yeah, it's good to do that. You're not forced to do it, but it's good. I mean, a lot of devotees do it.
And now with the GPT, the chat GPT, we can do it properly. Because
Oh,
English being a second language, it's difficult to write, get confused what to write.
all
But
right,
if you just put down the point, the chat GPT will work it out.
all right. Here's another use of ChatGPT. For those who are Hindi speaking, whatever, you can get the right word in English. Yeah, you can also get nice apps as well. There's an app that I use for journaling. It costs about £60 a year, but it's good.
I see.
So plenty out there. Okay, so yeah, journaling our way back to Godhead. Journaling our way back to Godhead. Yes. All right. Shall we read another verse? We just finished on 136. Is that right? I've been scrolling back and forward.
Did we finish
We are
one?
on 136 now.
136, sorry. Okay, 136. Okay.
I can read
Yes, go ahead.
text 136. The ladies of Raj are the most fortunate of women. Their minds fully attached to Krishna, their throats always choked with tears. They constantly sing about him while milking the cows, winnowing grains, churning butter, gathering cow dung for fuel, riding on swings, caring for their crying babies, sprinkling the ground with water, cleaning their houses, and so on. Their minds are fixed on Krishna alone. Comment.
Yeah, so sorry to jump in. You can, so we can try that when you're doing your hoovering, when you're putting the rubbish out, when you're going to Tesco's. We can't imitate them, but I'm just saying here the gopis, they're absorbed in they're absorbed in Krishna, whatever
But
they're doing.
we can imagine all this, or we've seen it. I mean, Raj Kishori must have, in villages living in India and things like that.
Yeah, they sing songs about Krishna, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they're doing the greens,
Yeah, our mothers taught us, Raj Kishori Supri, you go,
Yes,
you put
yes.
the seeds in there and you go like that, and the
Yeah,
jump
that's
comes
it.
up and the seeds get left. So you have to.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you sing as well at the same time.
Yeah.
You sing
And they
songs
sing
about
loudly in the village. You can hear from the other houses. Women are singing loudly when they are washing or when they are
Oh,
dealing with the cows.
and they're singing songs about Krishna.
Yes, Krishna.
Yeah.
Ran
Yeah.
Chhod Rai, because I'm in Gujarat, it's more about Ran Chhod Rai.
Rancho, right.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
And the cow dung sing. So you have
Yeah.
in like broken balls, right?
Yes, a basket, and they put it on the head.
And then you put it
Yeah.
you have it at the thumb of your thing and you go like that. So
Yeah.
it makes patterns on the floor,
Main point is
Yeah.
that the gopis are doing all that and they're singing and thinking of Krishna.
Yes. So this you can, like, we've seen it,
Yeah.
Chan.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Pick a purple. You can carry on reading.
Even in the course of Krishna's infinitely varied pastime, the gopis are sometimes unable to see their most clever Krishna.
That most clever
Krishna. They can remain submerged in an ocean of transcendental pleasure by chanting his glories. The gopis do not engage in Sankirtan only when circumstances are conducive. When performing special services for him, like making garlands, they chant his names and glories always in all situations. While describing the autumn brass dance, Parasara Muni says in Vishnu Purana, Krishna sang about the autumn moon and its light upon the lotus ponds, while the gopis simply sang Krishna's name over and over again. Oh my God, it's such a big purple.
Yeah. So just sorry, I keep jumping, but if you want to, you can copy the gopis. You can do as they do. And you're making garlands to sing songs about Krishna.
Yeah.
Go on.
While Krishna sang a ras dance song in a resonant voice, the gopis congratulated him and redoubled their chanting of Krishna. In the work Parikshit Maharaj recites here, the phrase Raj Sita, the woman of Raj, Raj Striya, the women of Raj, indicates not just the gopis but also women who live in the forest. The city ladies who are speaking are not careful to distinguish between the gopis of Nanda's community and the other women of Raj, who are mostly aborigines.
Yeah, that's the Palindis, isn't it? Do you remember
Yeah.
the Palindis described in 10th canto? They would rub all the dust that came pushing, they would rub it on their top of their head and on their chest, rub it all over their body, and be in ecstasy. Yeah, go on.
All the women who come in contact with Krishna in the forest, whether children, young girls, or old women, become rich in the highest favor of the goddess of fortune. And the only women of Raj have this kind of excellent luck, not the women of any other place.
Hmm.
Why are the women of Raj so fortunate? Because they always engage in Krishna Sankirtan. No matter what else they do, they sing while they milk the cows and churn butter for their husbands and children, while they apply kumkum, chandan, and other cosmetics to their bodies, while they swing on swings, while they comfort their babies, while they clean their houses with water and cow dung. They sing Krishna's names while cooking, grinding grains, smearing the courtyard with auspicious paste, and beautifying the walls of their houses with painted designs. Thus, the gopis' unavoidable duties in taking care of their families and maintaining their own bodies do not at all obstruct the ecstasy of gopis feel in worshipping Krishna. Rather, they contribute to it by giving suitable occasions for Sankirtan.
All right, so there's something sometimes devotees they question or they complain that they don't have the opportunity like the devotees in the temple. Sometimes we get questions like that. You have to go to work, you have to do other worldly things, so-called. But here, you can do all the worldly describe just be like the gopis. When you're putting the laundry in the dryer, you could be singing about the gopis when you're going about your daily. Of course, it takes it takes a spontaneous love to actually do this actually. But we can try. We can try to remember this sadhana, spontaneous sadhana, while we're going about activities and sing bhajans that we know of Krishna. Hare, Hari Haraya Nama. I mean, devotees do that anyway. But just emphasizing here that their so-called worldly activities was not an impediment for them remembering Krishna. There's that spontaneous attraction for Krishna. They're always singing about him. Yeah.
But this is for ladies staying at home. But these days, people go to work.
Yeah, you can on the bus. You can
Yeah, but
on
those
the
who
tube. You can listen to bhajans on the bus. You can. I must admit, yeah, when you got to interact with people in an office and things like that, it might be a little bit more challenging to actually be always singing about Krishna and singing songs about Krishna. But at least we can try and, we might not be able to imitate, but we can take the essence of it, you know? Yeah. Go on, continue.
the gopis are so absorbed in Krishna's glories that they are hardly aware of the effort that they expend while working.
Hmm.
And so intense is their singing that they actually see Krishna. Either by the power of meditation, they see him in their hearts as he plays all around Rajbhumi, or else they make excuses to take their work out into the pastures and so directly see him playing there.
Hmm.
Sometimes the presence of their, here I was just thinking, sorry, can I just, I was thinking that this is Krishna's mercy and Krishna's energy working with them. Because you can like how they can see Krishna everywhere. Krishna makes, because their desires are there.
Yeah.
It's just helping with his, Krishna is aloof, but his energies are helping these gopis.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, because their eyes are tinged with the salve of love. Everything is an opportunity for them to remember Krishna.
Yeah, like in a minute way, how we want to make nice garlands, cook this, that, whatever, and how Krishna just makes all that nice arrangements for you.
Yeah.
Have the desires.
It's it's the same. That's why Pujari Seva is quite unique in that sense that what's going on in the Pujari department is what's going on in the spiritual world.
Yeah.
Okay, slightly different. Like we open the fridge door and try and find some flowers. I mean, they go out to the forest to get flowers. But the same principle is there, where you know, we're making garlands and cooking for Krishna, serving Krishna's personally in the Murti form because he's come. So in the same way, it's like type of a Rajbasi type of service, you know.
Hmm. Sometimes the presence of their elders makes them too shy to sing about Krishna, and then they fly to where Krishna is by the inner vehicle of their minds,
Hmm.
helplessly attracted by the power of Lord Urukrama, who intrudes in what?
Intrudes by stealth. It's interesting you used that word. I don't know if it's there.
Intrudes, yes, by
That's like you heard of the thing, a stealth bomber? It's like it's very
Swift.
stealth. It means it's very
Swift.
swift. Yeah.
Yeah. Swift,
Yeah. Okay.
I
Yeah.
think.
The swift or stealth. Intrude
Stealth.
by stealth into the minds of these best devotees. It's like intriguing. Like a stealth bomber is. I don't know why I remember stealth bomber, but it's a very It sneaks up on you. It kind of
like an intruder.
is an intruder. Yeah. Anyway, so let's continue. Yeah. Sort of.
As the gopis chant about Krishna, their minds are more and more attracted to him, and gradually they are unable to think coherently about anything else. Shedding tears of love, they sob uncontrollably, and their hearts go swiftly, urukramena, to join Krishna, wherever he is. In short, they are most fortunate of women because they always see Krishna, always chant his glories, always think about him, and always feel completely attracted to him in pure love.
Yeah, sometimes the elders are concerned about these gopis. They think they're haunted by ghosts or something. They act in all these strange ways. For instance, sometimes they'd be churning, but instead of churning milk, because they're so absorbed in Krishna, they're actually churning a bucket of water. Or sometimes they may go out into the yard to collect something, and they're so absorbed in Krishna they forget what they went for, and they just keep walking into the forest. They become distracted. Sometimes the elders are very concerned about these gopis, about their daughters, wives, etc.
I can imagine that.
Yeah.
The words Anurakta Dio Shru Kantaya,
Shikantaya, Shikantya.
which describes how the gopis sing, can be understood to be a response to the following doubts. Isn't it true that a woman does what she does only because she's attracted to doing it? The gopis must have some attraction for household work,
Hmm,
otherwise they would why would they
you're doing
be
it.
so busy doing it? How they can How then can they be said to be merged totally, exclusively in love for Krishna?
Okay, it's an interesting question. Why didn't it just leave the whole thing behind? I'm out of here. Sometimes the gopis have discussions like that. Why should we be in our houses? Let us go, you know? So interesting question. So let's hear what the answer is going to be.
Some Masura women respond by commenting that such symptoms as tears in the eyes prove that the gopis' mind are full of loving attraction for Krishna. The gopis do their household duties only for his sake.
All right, so doing it for Krishna's sake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Churning milk for Krishna, cleaning the house or the village for Krishna, you know, threshing the wheat with the hope that the flours can be used for making something for Krishna. Yeah. Well,
Or can it be doing the duties as needed, and in their mind they know they're going to meet Krishna at night?
Yeah, so they're just doing it out but here it's just saying directly, it claims the mature women respond by commenting that such symptoms as tears in the eyes prove that the gopis' minds are fully full of loving attraction. And here, the gopis do their household duties only for his sake. So they're doing it for his sake.
But then
Yeah.
another doubt might arise.
Yeah.
With such distracted minds, how could the gopis maintain their bodies and fulfill their family responsibilities? The answer is that Krishna is Urukrama, the Supreme Lord, who possesses amazing energies and accomplishes wonderful feats. The gopis, by fixing their heart on him, are easily able to carry out all these duties and obtain whatever is needed. Even though the gopis think only of Krishna, to the exclusion of everything else, they are free from anxiety over the many duties they are obliged to fulfill. Everything they do is for his satisfaction. So they can do everything expertly simply by the force of Krishna consciousness.
Anyone
This
think of a verse in Bhagavad Gita which could
about
yeah,
like
yeah, Anusmaracha. I think this is what Krishna advises Arjuna to do, to carry out his duties, but at the same time to think of him, why he's going about his duties, specifically for Arjuna as a Kshatriya. So that could be taken in two ways. Either you can directly be absorbed in Krishna, or you can be absorbed in the fact that what you're doing is going to be offered to Krishna. You understand? One way you're absorbed in the form of Krishna, perhaps like the gopis are, and in another way you're absorbed in the fact that what you are actually doing is going to be offered to Krishna. But the point here of doing our prescribed duties in this world, but at the same time remembering Krishna. That's what Krishna advised Arjuna to do. Yeah. And the other verse we're thinking of is one we often quote, forget the Sanskrit for now, but for those who meditate upon me with exclusive devotion, for them I carry what they lack and
I preserve.
yeah, and I preserve what they have. So Krishna's going to make up the shortfall.
Yeah, Ananya Anastitiyam Ma.
Yatamam yajanti payapasti samnitipayuktamam yogikshemi vivahamiyam. So declare it boldly. Yeah, I will. I've, I've, I've got your back covered. Have you heard of that saying lately? We've got your back covered. So Krishna's got the go. Obviously, he's got the gopis' back covered by his amazing internal potencies. Yeah, go on. Yeah, last.
This verse also describes the gopis singing about Krishna as most prominent. Their remembrance and visions of him come as natural consequences of this primary service of singing his glories. Therefore, the gopis meditating on Krishna and envisioning him are not explicitly mentioned. The ladies of Mathura conclude these women alone are the most fortunate and in ways for which we can never aspire. How sad.
How sad. So they're lamenting their position. The gopis also lament their position, as we know. We read verses from the Venu Gita
Yeah.
when they're lamenting. Yeah. All right. Let's have a look at this. Perhaps I can. What's the time? 48. I could read this one. When the young gopis hear Krishna playing his flute as he leaves Raj in the morning with his cows or returns with them at sunset, yeah, they quickly come out of their houses to see him. They must have performed many pious activities to be able to see him as he walks on the road, his smiling face mercifully glancing upon them. So this is a significant point in Krishna's pastimes, which is a focus of Vaishnava Smaran. It can be when Krishna is leaving and when Krishna is returning. There's wonderful descriptions of this in great detail given by Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami and also Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur as well. Yeah. So, commentary. We ladies of Mathura may also have the privilege of seeing Krishna in all his glory, and we too may be able to glorify him in Sankirtan while we engage in our activities. At least after he kills Kamsa and remains here with us. But the experience will never be the same for us as for the gopis of Raj, for only they can watch Krishna in the morning as he leaves for the forest and in the evening as he returns home. Only they can see him surrounded by his cows and his cowherd friends. As soon as the gopis hear his flute, they come outside onto the road on which he will walk. They may be powerless women of Halaha, devoid of independent strength, but they are the most fortunate and pious of all human beings. Yeah. When Krishna comes into view, the gopis not only see him, but also hear his flute song and the jingling of his foot bells as he walks with the grace of a skilled dancer. Sometimes it's described when Krishna enters Mathura like a drunken elephant, side to side, he's walking like he owns the place, which he does. So then envisioning the gopis' meditation. Yeah. So they're absorbed just like, in one sense, they're absorbed just like the gopis, because they're absorbed in the gopis' absorption. So they're appreciating that. So this is the principle, And we're absorbed, or we're trying to be absorbed in what the ladies of Mathura are absorbed in, because they're absorbed in meditating on Krishna. So, you get the idea? We're also trying to be absorbed by reading and hearing this. We're also trying to appreciate and absorb and be thus absorbed. So continue. Krishna's face is always adorned with merciful glances, and no one ever sees it not smiling. Yeah. Krishna's never not smiling. I always mention as a joke, when you take photos of Krishna, you never have to ask him to smile. When people take a photo of us in the group, we have to smile.
Smile, yeah.
We have to, okay, everyone smile. We have to make an effort to smile. But Krishna, of course, he's a deity, but he's actually Krishna. He's always smiling. The gopis, however, even while gazing on Krishna's beauty, are in anxiety because they know that he will soon be out of sight. What is so fortunate about seeing Krishna go off to the forest? What is so auspicious about being left in the anguish of separation? So it's asked as a question, what's the big, what's the big thing? In fact, however, anything in connection with Krishna is auspicious, even when it superficially appears to be a cause of suffering. The gopis may see him leave in the morning, but they also see him return in the late afternoon. Having languished in their homes during the day, like lotuses almost dead from being overexposed to sunlight, the gopis rush out to their houses as soon as the nectar of Krishna's flute song enters their ears. So to hear that flute song, everyone rushes or to climb on top of the houses to get a good look at Krishna. Each time they see Krishna is like a festival for them. Yeah, so every morning they make various excuses. Time check. Yeah, they make various excuses. Sorry, to come early to Madhu Yasoda's house to see Krishna and follow him as he leaves for the forest. They are completely absorbed morning and evening in meditating on how to get out of their houses and be near Krishna. But when they hear him playing his flute, they at once run outside, for the sound of the flute arouses in them urges of Cupid, rendering them helpless and weak. of halha. So they're completely spontaneously attracted to Krishna, beyond their control. As repeatedly explained, Srimad Bhagavatamrta in Srimad Bhagavatam, as repeatedly explained in Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, the gopis received the greatest mercy of the personality of Godhead when they are immersed in the mood of separation. So not when they're with him. The most mercy comes when they're in the mood of separation. Nonetheless, the women of Mathura limit themselves to describing the ecstasy of seeing Krishna, because the sublime subject of the gopis' feelings of separation is beyond their grasp, and they dare not even mention the supreme glories of Krishna's Rasalila. Yeah, they haven't touched that. Or when Radharani, there's whole arrangements. There's arrangements are made that Radha and the gopis and Radha, they get to meet Krishna at noontime, isn't it? There's all types of pastimes where they meet in the forests, to play dice and all types of pastimes going on. But that's not mentioned here. And they dare not even mention the supreme glories of Krishna's Rasalila, since the wonder of merely seeing Krishna is difficult for the mature women to describe. What can they tell about the gopis' greatest fortune? Being able to dance with Krishna in a Rasalila. The mature women lament, because our stock of pious credits is so meager, we will never be able to see Krishna in the same way. Hare Krishna. Never. Sometimes the gopis are fire on us. We will never have this. So here, the ladies of Mathura. And next comes a well-known verse. Anyone recognize this? Na pareyoham. Yeah?
That's the book as well.
Yeah, na pareyoham. Okay, let's see how long this is. Not so long. We can read this as well. I'd like to read.
Which text is it?
138.
138.
Yeah.
I can do a bit of reading. Text 138. I am not able to repay my debt for your spotless service, even within a lifetime of Brahma. Your connection with me is beyond reproach. You have worshipped me, cutting off all domestic ties, which are difficult to break. Therefore, please let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. Commentary. This verse, Bhagavatam 10:32-22, describes the most exalted position of the gopis, earned by their pure love for the personality of Godhead. When Krishna suddenly disappeared at the beginning of the rasa dance, the gopis cried in great pain. But then he reappeared, sat comfortably in their midst, and listened to their ego questions. The present verse is Krishna's answers to those questions. Text 138 through to 146 tell of the Supreme Lord's special love for the gopis. In these 9 verses, the Lord himself, from his own lotus mouth, explains this wonderful aspect of his own glories. The gopis are faultless in their love for Krishna, neglecting all considerations other than making him happy. They submerge their minds in thoughts of him in spotless prema. Surely these girls should not be criticized for approaching Krishna with lust, even though followers of the Smriti Sastras may want to criticize them. Their lust for Krishna is in fact great virtue, since it is the cause of their faultless association with him. As previously shown in this book, the gopis' attraction to Krishna is an exceptional development of their fully matured love of God. In fact, Krishna considers himself unable to repay the gopis for their devotion, even in a lifetime of the intelligent demigods or sages of the supremely intelligent. Lord Brahma, if we read Sava Sadhu Kriyam to mean proper compensation, the Lord says that he is unable to repay the gopis for their devotion, and if we read it alternatively, alternatively, to mean one's own saintly behavior. The Lord says that he cannot act with the same exceptionally saintly devotion for them as they have for him.
Yeah, just one quick comment here. It's like it says the word again, the word lust is used, calm, but it's like prema disguised as lust. Actually, it's prema, which means selfless, loving attraction to pleasing Krishna. Yeah, but it's disguised as lust. Where in the material world, so-called it's the other way around. So-called love is actually lust. But actually, in the spiritual world, so-called lust is actually love. But here in the material world, so-called love is actually lust. Is that so? It's not what it immediately looks like from our perspective. There's attraction of pure love is there. Just what I mentioned that. Go on, continue.
Krishna is amazed by how strongly committed to him the gopis are. They have cut the insurmountable knots of attachment to home and husband and children, and the multitude of duties centered on them. Severing these attachments, the gopis have worshipped Krishna fully, whereas Krishna, because he has ties of love to so many devotees, feels he can never be exclusively dedicated. Therefore, he can only suggest to the gopis that their own saintliness might repay his debt to them. There is nothing he can do in kind to reciprocate. Dividing the phrase Sava Sadhu Krityam differently yields yet another understanding. Asudu Kriyam, which changes to Sava Asada Krityam, meaning very unvirtuous acts. Thus, Krishna indicates that even the things the gopis do that lack virtue, such as behaving cruelly towards him, are glorious. Even those acts Krishna suggests contributing to absolving his debt. So what then of the pious things the gopis do? Krishna says this to the gopis out of greed to enjoy with them in all situations, no matter how they treat him. Unfortunately, Krishna cannot properly repay the service of the gopis who have offered him their faultless bodies. Krishna is encumbered by various household duties of his own. Like his constant duty to tend the cows, he cannot abandon his responsibilities and serve the gopis properly. Ma Bhajam. And Krishna, other obligations are unbreakable. Durja. The strong metal chains of Sankrita, as applied by the prefix sam, completely. In the word samvichya, completely cutting off, Krishna might be able to put aside his inner attachment to these other engagements, but he cannot avoid by being externally involved in them. Krishna thinks that unless he offers himself to the gopis completely, as they have offered themselves to him, unless he worships them in absolutely exclusive devotion, disregarding everything else, he cannot require their love. He remains in debt because his dealings with them, he has broken the vow he made in the Bhagavad Gita 4.11. Ye yata mam prapyanti. Tam tatva bhajami aham. All who surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. In all humility, Krishna sweetly requests the gopis that for their saintly behavior, they agree to be repaid by their own saintly qualities. Sadhuna, or if we can take the word sadhuna to mean by saintly devotee, Krishna suggests that although he himself cannot reciprocate adequately, perhaps in the future some of his devotees will become followers of the gopis and serve them faithfully.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So yeah, I was going to say so again here Sanatana Goswami is given many different interpretation of different words and expanding these wonderful verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. Anyway, so na parayaham. Okay, we won't stop. We're paused there, and let's continue next week. Yeah, wonderful to hear about this. The wonderful love of the residents of Vrindavan. And let's continue next week. Thank you, devotees, for joining us. We've quite a few devotees here, 8 of us today. Great, wonderful. Good way to end in the Kaddishi day. And chant about the glories of the love of the residents of Vrindavan. Okay, so thank you. So those who are attending, we're having a Srila Bhakti Chintamani tomorrow. So if you have time, you're welcome to join us for that. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yay.
Brihad Bhagavatamrta ki jai. Shri Sanatana Goswami ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitya Gaura Premanande Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.